check. And I've got to tell you, Austin, the federal monies and some of the stuff that are coming into these schools are so needed, and we're starting to see a flow of money for training and for their equipment. So these schools are up to speed on their training, because it certainly exhibits their training due to their response here. They're being very diligent in their response, they're being very cautious, but more importantly, they're getting the information out to the people on campus as quickly and safely as possible.
Does the body language of the emergency responders on this feed tell you anything? They look relaxed to me.
It does. I mean, that could be a perimeter unit. It could be a unit that had just came out of the search, and they're getting rebriefed for another search. But I've got to be honest with you, it could also telegraph that the shooter's in custody, because they look very relaxed. You don't see anyone running or hustling. It could be a couple of things. I'm not going to read into that, because we've seen it in the past where we saw a perimeter of police officers not really running or doing anything actively, but yet you have an active shooter still on site. So my best hope is this guy or shooters are either neutralized or in custody, and that's why we're seeing the most, they're relaxed at this crime scene. What we're not seeing, though, is what's happening inside the building. Are they still elements searching? Are they, we just...
What's up, Laurie? What's up, Lala, man? We got an active shooter over there at Brown University in Rhode Island. I believe that's Providence, Rhode Island. Some reports are alleging up to 20 people shot. The campus is still on lockdown. The shooter has not been found. I did not plan to go live about this, but this is breaking within the last hour. Just
don't know that.
How do officers prevent the suspect from escaping?
What's up, Darkin? What's up, Mona?
At large, if they are believed to be at large.
I really haven't seen any air support, but you're going to have an air support unit up above flying orbits, potentially with FLIR and obviously a spotlight. But you're also going to have a visual by all of these officers on the perimeter. You're going to see everything lit up on the outside perimeter. And if someone comes out of the building or off the lawn of that campus, they're going to be challenged by the police to identify themselves. Get on the ground, put your hands up, what have you, to prevent a shooter or a bad guy getting outside of the perimeter. I've been on scenes in the past where I've had an inner perimeter and then an outer perimeter. So you have a double perimeter, so you have double protection, preventing that bad guy to escape. So it's just very visual. You have to have good communication with your fellow officers, both inside and at the command center.
Information are officers on the ground feeding back to command right now?
Buildings that have been searched, cleared, potentially groups of spectators, witnesses, students, what have you on campus. If you're going to bring out an element of civilians, you want the command center to know that.
All right, chat, this is the message. One text, I guess they sent out a text to everybody that was on campus that said, remember, run if you are in the affected location. Evacuate safely if you can. Hide if evacuation is not possible. Take cover. Fight as a last resort. Take action to protect yourself. Those are some of the alerts that these people are getting to their phones while they're around, man.
Other officers, hey, we're coming out with another group.
What's up, Gardner?
Injured. Do we have injured people down that haven't received first responder help yet? That's a huge thing. If you have someone in a dorm or an adjacent building that's been injured or shot, you want to get that person treatment as soon as possible, the golden hour, right? So, depending on the injuries, they want the command center to react, getting the fire services as safely as possible into that building for any potential injured or shot people.
Jamie, if you're available to, can you stand by with us? We are going to continue, and it does look like this feed, it looks like the video journalist might be moving to another area. Perhaps they're, I would be curious to know if they're moving perhaps to a designated media area at this point in the investigation. I'm getting word from our producers that on the line we have the mother of a student who is currently sheltering in place and is receiving real-time updates from her son, Shamsa Amersi. Do you have me, and are we connected? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So, thank you for coming on. What is your son telling you right now?
Oh, it's a nightmare. The nightmares. They're in the middle, so on the library. In about an hour and a half, the first I get from my mom, there's shooting on, and trying to run and do. I was like, texting, and live.
I don't know why it's skipping chat. That's not me. That's Arnarian.
To make a single, but he's in a closet on campus, barricaded, all students, turned off, saved chairs on the floor. One of his having a panic, so they're trying to keep her so that no being made. They have a rate update getting, and the most update is that nobody in custody, and there's shooters at campus, casualties, I don't know how many, so that there's is not resolved. But my son is safe in a very room, but they're like, this is just there's a pit. It's horrible.
And I'm so sorry. We can't imagine. And we really
What the hell
are
is the chat?
working as best we can here to get updates from officials in the area. I'm so sorry to hear that this is unfolding the way it's unfolding. I need to ask you, did
Alright, chat, let me pull that back up because I was trying to figure out, was it her audio or was it us?
Make it single and to keep them off, and if it tries to enter, they barricade them with.
they have not seen police yet?
No police has come in. No one has to leave. Just wait. We've told them to leave, not the room, and she comes and tells them. As of now, most recent is that he's just 2 minutes is to stay the shooter not to leave.
And so is your understanding that there were, and I know you said finals are ongoing, so despite this being a Saturday, is it within the realm of possibility that there's a decent amount of students on campus this Saturday?
Final students to the dorm or on campus reading. There's that side or library, so that all the classes are in their dorm or on campus libraries. But is all of it.
And what does your son study?
Studies and international relations. A third year student.
And this, how much familiarity do you have with this building that's on lockdown? Because it appears that the local police...
What's up, H-Buster?
They've been focusing in on a specific structure there that appears to be full of laboratories and things of this nature. Are you familiar with this area and this building specifically?
Not.
And I need to check in with my producers here. No, son. Okay, so we are getting some more information. We'll be sharing that in a little bit here once we can get it confirmed. But I need to ask you, Shamsa, you are having no issues connecting with your son. I know you say texting. Have you spoken on the phone?
Oh, we spoke very briefly, and we love you. And then he's using us. He's able to phone.
Are there any instructors in the area, or are these students together?
All students.
And what has he described about the situation inside the building?
In the building, what able to just say is...
I don't know. We can't hear her. Hold on.
Into rooms, hated themselves as instructors at Radio University. And she doesn't putting outside the room because specific all students.
And are you getting communication only from him, or are you getting communication from the university as well?
We're getting university from messages saying that there's a shooter and to stay in just and that law and it's this situation.
Shamsa,
We're waiting on the press conference, chat. We're waiting on the press conference.
Story with us and giving us a little bit of insight as to what some of those on the ground are going through right now, and we are wishing you the best, and we're wishing well for your son as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. With these live pictures, we don't have ground shot.
What's up, Mama Money?
I'm going to stick with this shot from above the...
All right, we'll pull this back up in a second. Let's get into the clip.
We are, and I'm just going to have to ask...
Thanks for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Christina Evans. We do have to bring you some breaking news. This comes from Providence, Rhode Island. Right now, we are hearing that there has been a shooting reported at Brown University. I do want to put up this live vantage point that we have there of some of the reaction that is now coming, and then the police response there to the area. As you can see in front of you, there are multiple police cars and other ambulances, as well as fire trucks now responding there to this scene. Again, this is in downtown Providence, Rhode Island at Brown University. So it is official that we have heard brief remarks there from the university as well. They put out a statement on their website. So I want to show that for you here on the screen, as this is, again, breaking news just now coming into our newsroom, saying that Brown University alert is that this is first urgent. There is an active shooter near Barris and Hawley Engineering. Lock your doors, silence phones, and stay hidden until further notice. Remember, run if you are in the affected location. Evacuate safely if you can. Hide. If evacuation is not possible, take cover. Fight. As a last resort, take action to protect yourself. Stay tuned for further safety information. And so this, again, is the statement that Brown University has since put out on their website. An alert sent out to all students there on campus as this reported active shooter is there near the engineering building on campus. I want to take you back out, though, to the live vantage point that we have there in Providence, Rhode Island, as all of this is unfolding. Let's see if we can just listen into a little bit of the audio.
Yes, Gwen, it's still ongoing.
There isn't much that's happening there as far as sirens. I was wondering if we were going to be able to hear some of those sirens of those first responders who are there on the scene. But again, this is just now coming in. This is breaking within the last 15 minutes or so. At this point, I do want to let you know we don't have any information on who, if anyone has been hurt in this. Police have not yet released any formal statements, but we're going to continue to track all of this here on Live Now from Fox. But again, this is what Brown University has said. They're talking about an active shooter that has been reported near the engineering building. And again, as this is all unfolding, it's going to take just a few minutes behind the scenes for us to continue to confirm other details and also listen in and watch from any of those local officers when they begin to make statements. But still a very active scene there. Brown University asking students who are there on campus near this affected area to run, hide, or fight in order to protect themselves. I want to put that statement back up on the screen once again. This is what has been said from the university, reminding folks that there is an active shooter near campus, near the engineering building, telling folks to lock their doors, silence their phones, and stay hidden until further notice, saying, remember, run if you are in the affected location, evacuate safely if you can, hide if evacuation is not possible, take cover, and fight as a last resort. Take action to protect yourself, and saying to stay tuned for any further safety information. Once we get more information here.
Okay, that's what's going on. What's up, Dole?
That we will be able to watch as officials tell us what they know so far about this developing situation. We do know multiple victims have been confirmed. Their condition, unknown. I'll reset here. We know that many of you have just started to join us as you've heard the news of this developing situation. Multiple victims reported. The active shooting situation continues to play out at Brown University. Multiple people have been shot in the area of Brown University, police have said. The Ivy League school issuing an active shooter alert and urging students and staff to take shelter during the second day of final exams. Police, according to the Associated Press, did not immediately release details about the number of victims, their conditions, or the circumstances.
Trump came back out and said that the police have recanted their statement. The shooter has not been caught. They did report the shooter was caught, but they came back and said the shooter has not been caught. Appreciate that, Letty. I think that's Dorsey. Appreciate that, Letty.
Circumstances of the shooting. University officials initially told students and staff that a suspect was in custody, but then they later said that's not the case, and that police are still searching for a suspect or suspects. In fact, the president sent out an alert saying that a suspect was in custody, and then he had to amend it, saying, in fact, a suspect is not in custody. One more angle to this that we're tracking. The initial call came into a university building that houses a number of laboratories, and then sometime after that initial call came in, a second report of shots fired came into police at an area about 2 blocks away from where the initial scene was called. So we were speaking with law enforcement expert Jamie Copenhaver moments ago, and him and I were discussing the idea of police do the math, how they contain a scene when there are so many variables and so many...
What's up, Marvin?
We are getting some word in from Attorney General Pam Bondi that the FBI and the ATF are on scene of the shooting at Brown University in Rhode Island. It says, please pray for all involved. Reiterate that we are expecting a press conference. It was slated for 6:15. No. That gets underway. It does appear that some of the local media outlets are setting up for the update. So if we have a live feed, we will bring that to you as it takes place in real time. Sometimes the connection, I will say, sometimes the connection at these things.
Not yet, Kelly.
There are so many different people that broadcast these live.
Some people, some reports say up to 20 victims. Some reports say multiple casualties. But as of right now, nothing has been confirmed. As of right now, nothing has been confirmed.
And we hope we can bring this thing through to you clearly once it does start. University officials initially told students, once again, that a suspect was in custody, but as of right now, is in custody. And they're not even clear whether or not they're looking for one suspect or multiple suspects. Reported shooting occurred near the Barris and Hawley building. That was where the initial call came into. The Barris and Hawley building is a 7-story complex. It houses the university's School of Engineering and Physics department. The university's website says that the building includes more than 100 laboratories. It has dozens of classrooms and offices. We were just speaking to Mercy, who unfortunately has a son who is on lockdown, a terrifying situation for parents whose students were either taking tests or were studying for finals.
Y'all want to know what's crazy? Damn, Chad. Hold on 1 second. Hold on.
I think we have another update from Brown University. This is the 6th update. Looks, they just sent this out moments ago, I'm guessing. Yes, it appears they just sent this out moments ago. They say, the earlier report of a secondary shooting incident near Governor Street is unfounded. However, it remains critical to continue to shelter in place due to the original situation. Okay, so it was Brown University that initially alerted us about the potential of a secondary shooting. Now Brown University amending that and saying It's unfounded. However, remain vigilant, shelter.
Oh, this is what I was gonna say, Kelly. Today, so they came out and they arrested that guy for the planting the pipe bombs, right? But now somebody pulled out a piece of the clip, and I think Thomas Massey or somebody's coming at him, man. Somebody's coming and saying that in the clip of the suspected guy that dropped the pipe bombs, you could see them adjusting a bra strap. Remember, they had arrested a girl or picked up a girl at first, then nothing ever came of the girl getting picked up for the pipe bomb thing. Then they go arrest that black guy. And people have been going through looking at all of the footage from around the area. And they have like the footage of the pipe bomber like adjusting bra straps. And it's like, I don't think that guy had on a damn bra. And then this happens today. So when you say, do you wonder, is this organic or is this a psyop type situation? I don't know. I hate that I have to say that.
Original situation still ongoing, it appears. Okay, so here's our live vantage point. We anticipate police will step up to these microphones time shortly, and we will learn what they've learned so far. We've been watching along with you for the past hour or so. Little pieces of information have come in intermittently. I'll just reset here for anybody who may be joining us. We are live in wall-to-wall coverage as we track a developing story out of Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island.
All of this coming on the back of what? The Luigi case as well. What came out in the Luigi case? The officers did an initial search of Luigi in his bag and did not find a gun or anything. Then they cut the body cam off, did a second search, and the gun was there. All of this is coming out. And now we got another, event like this. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
People confirmed shot at the university. Police are saying that multiple people are shot. They have not been able to say the condition of those people. The Ivy League school issuing an active shooter alert and urging students and staff to take shelter. Taking place on the second day of final exams at Brown University. Police have not immediately released details about the number of victims. They haven't said the condition of the victims. They also haven't confirmed the exact circumstances surrounding the shooting. We're still waiting, and there's so many questions still that we have here. We're going to do some fact-finding here behind the scenes.
I don't have the answers to this, but one thing I will say is that they don't have the answers to this because they came out, said the suspect was caught, came back out and said the suspect wasn't caught. It made it all the way to Trump. Trump said the suspect was caught, wasn't caught. The school put out a statement that it was supposed to be some second gunshots coming from in the area. Now they came back and recanted that, reneged on that. So they don't know what the hell is going on right now. I'm pretty sure that at this press conference, they're not going to give pretty much any information. They're not going to be able to say how many people were shot. They're not going to have the shooter in custody. They're not going to have anything, man. This is going to be another long drawn out thing where we're going to see Kash Patel come out of the damn private jet or whatever the hell he's coming out of and saying about how they're going to be actively investigating this shit, man. They're not going to have any answers today. We're just gonna be waiting to hear from Kash Patel. It's gonna be another one, chat. Another one. And you want to know, chat? What's so crazy about this is I don't even blame it for being just now. Like, I think this shit has been going on. It's always been some shit to whether it's just been some shit going on. And now that we have social media, we got AI that can analyze shit. We got our own citizens doing investigative journalism and shit. It's just getting exposed a lot more now. I'm
going to turn my mic down for a moment. I'll be back shortly.
What's up, Jose? Yeah, this is crazy.
Okay, Austin Westfall here in the, we are, sort of going through the news wires, and we're scouring social media, getting a press conference that we expect, we heard.
Because we got so much going on just this year. Like, we got Luigi's case. Cops cut off the damn body cam, didn't find the gun, cut off the body cam, then they find the gun on him. Okay, we got that one. We still got the guy, whatever happened with the Trump bomber, right? Whatever happened with that guy, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's ever heard. Remember the Trump bomber outside the Trump towers and shit? Whatever happened to that shit, you know what I'm saying? The guy that did all this shit in front, what happened to that? Remember the guy that drove through Louisiana, drove all of those people over in the same 24 hours? What happened to him? Remember the guy that drove across country GTA style, jumped out with the M4 and ran into the NFL headquarters? Shit. Not let alone Charlie Kirk shooter. Shit is crazy, bro.
Heard this would take place at 6:15 Eastern time. We'll let you know as soon as this thing does get underway. While we wait for people to, or officials to, step up to these microphones, let's keep this wider vantage point. I'll just mention to you also, if you're curious why we no longer have a camera.
I don't think gun control is the problem.
It's because that camera has moved over to the press conference. It's the very same camera that you're looking at here. Folks exchanging hugs on what's turning out to be a horrific day at Brown University. We are doing our best to connect with law enforcement expert Jamie Copenhaver. He's going to join us over the phone here shortly, barring that press conference starting. Read this update that officials sent out 15 minutes ago. University itself, Brown sending out a extended update. This is how it's a few paragraphs long. I'm going to read it verbatim. We alerted our campus at 4:22 p.m. to an active shooter incident near Barris and Hawley Engineering. We informed our community to shelter in place by locking doors, silencing phones, and staying hidden until further notice. This remains an active crime scene, and law enforcement continue to search for the suspect. The situation is ongoing, and all members of the community should continue to shelter in place. Again, this was sent out 15 minutes ago. They say they are very sorry to share that they have confirmed reports of multiple shooting victims, but they are not able to share their condition. They say that those people have been transported to local hospitals. The university saying that their first priority is the safety of their community and coordinating closely with local law enforcement and medical personnel to ensure their safety. They say they're working immediately to determine who was in the building at the time of the shooting. We had multiple exams, they say, scheduled in that building from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And they can confirm that support services are on site. Senior administrative leaders from across the university, they say, are convened in emergency command to mobilize ongoing response and support for the community, and they say that they're establishing support for their community and families as well. They say that they've been and continue to be very grateful to law enforcement and emergency medical personnel. They say that they have relocated students to get support services at a secure location, are telling anybody in the area to remain vigilant. They say, please continue to take all steps to remain safe. Follow the instructions of law enforcement personnel in the area. We no longer have that vantage point of the press conference. Presumably, we'll see that feed pop back up. Officials eventually do step up. We expected that press conference to happen at 15 minutes past the hour. We're now at 23 minutes past the hour, so it's possible that this press conference could start at any moment now. Reading from the news wires, I'll underscore this. There are many more questions unanswered than answered at this point. We don't know any details about the number of victims. We don't know the conditions of anybody who was shot today. All we know from Brown University is that multiple people are confirmed shot, and the university says no suspect in custody. This is the latest update from Brown. Earlier report of a secondary shooting incident near Governor Street is unfounded. However, it remains critical to continue shelter in place due to the original situation. For anybody who's newly joining us, there was a report of a second potential scene where gunfire had rung out. It appears that Brown University has ruled that out and said that it was unfounded. FBI Director Kash Patel saying FBI personnel are on the scene. They're assisting this evening after the shooting at Brown, and they will provide all capabilities necessary. Please pray for all those involved, Patel says. We will update with more information as we are able. The only live vantage point we have of the area this hour is this bird's eye view overlooking a portion of campus. You can see this response news. We have also heard from the president. Trump says that he's been briefed on the matter. He had initially said, just like local authorities had said, that a suspect was in custody, but then amending that and saying, no, we do not have a suspect in custody. In fact, they do not know if it's a suspect or if we're talking about multiple potential suspects at this point. These are questions we simply do not have answered.
Do y'all think it was a shootout or just a shooter? Do y'all think it was a shootout or a shooter?
At this time. Also unclear to us when this police press conference is going to start. Our understanding is it could happen any moment here. Surely we'll be listening in for any information relating to a suspect. Are they searching for a suspect? This is not something we've heard directly from Brown, but is somebody on the loose? Have they maintained a perimeter around this campus? And do they suspect that the suspect is somewhere within that perimeter? Is there the potential that suspect outside of the perimeter? These are questions I have, and these are things I'm going to be listening for once police officials.
And it is a very large scene, as the police officer is talking about. I haven't seen the video from Sky 5, but I would imagine that reflected by the
I guess that's just a live camera out there. Hold on, chat.
concern that the students have, and you may be like, well, they're hiding out, they're barricading their doors and stuff. Well, we don't know where the person is. No. And there's a lot of buildings. You probably don't just enter one of those Brown University buildings without a key card or something. Probably the door's not open, but did the person have a key card? Can somebody go to a Brown building? Can somebody go into a store or a public building? We just don't know where that person went.
Okay, these are some pictures from Waterman Street. Still some action there. This is where John Perrick was a little while ago, and this is not too far from the engineering building. You know, we probably still have a lot of students on campus right now. This is starting to wind down for the Christmas break, but finals are going on right now. Students were probably in some of those buildings studying, or in their dormitories studying, or in nearby houses studying. So still a lot of students on campus. So right now, this is what we know. Multiple people were shot this afternoon, a mass casualty at Brown University. A couple of different locations going on right now. We're waiting for a news conference to learn more. but 2 people are confirmed dead, and the Providence police have told us that multiple people have been injured and have been sent to area hospitals. We're waiting for a news conference, and there's also a staging area for families to go to at 524 Hope Street. We're going out now to that live news conference.
By Fire Chief Derek Silva, Brown Police Chief Rodney Chapman, Brown Provost Frank Doyle, Governor Dan McKee,
I don't
Councilman
like this
John
name.
Gonsalves, Commander Tim O'Hara, and Lieutenant Governor Sabina Matos. It is still early hours in the incident that occurred at Brown today, and so please understand that it's important for us to share what details we do have to the community, because there's a lot of fear and anxiety and unfortunately already some misinformation, but this is very early hours, and so please know that some of these details may be subject to change, that this investigation is ongoing. We will be as transparent as we can in the hours to come, and we'll provide regular updates, but we're going to share what we do know at this time. But please bear with us as we know sometimes these details shift as the investigation progresses. Sadly, today is a day that the city of Providence and the state of Rhode Island prayed would never come. We've heard about horrific acts of gun violence and active shooter situations in other places, but not here. But this afternoon at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we received a call. 4:05 was when the initial call came in to Brown University of a report of an active shooter. I can confirm that there are 2 individuals who have died this afternoon, and there are another 8 in critical status, those stable, at Rhode Island Hospital. Those are the only injuries or casualties that we know at this time. But as I mentioned, and it's important to remind folks, these numbers may change. We are still in early hours, but at this time there are 2 deceased and 8 who are critical but stable at Rhode Island Hospital. Additionally, we do not have a shooter in custody at this time. There is a shelter in place in effect for the greater Brown University area. If you live on or near Brown's campus, we are encouraging you to stay home and stay inside. If you're not home at this time, we would encourage you not to return to your homes until the shelter in place has been lifted. We will make regular updates through all City of Providence official social media channels. That's where you can find out more information about the shelter in place, if it changes, when it's lifted. I want to commend the heroic work of the Providence Police Department, the Brown Police Department, Providence Fire Department, and the many agencies who provided mutual aid today. Brown Police responded first and then were quickly assisted by Providence Police, who fearlessly and courageously entered and worked through the building, and we'll hear from them in a minute. Providence Fire responded quickly as well and transported several of the victims. The fire department was assisted with mutual aid from across the state of Rhode Island. And as I think we know our community to be, our neighbors have really stepped up in a big way today. And we're very grateful for everyone who is...
This is different. Most of the time when this happens, the shooter it's either death by suicide or death by cop. Suicide by cop, or they take their own life. This is different. That not only is the shooter not dead, he's not in custody. The shooter is still at large. What are the odds that a guy strolls onto a college campus in a damn 7-story building, laboratories and shit, shoots 10 people, and just goes on about his fucking day? Like, what?
...has offered assistance and who will continue to offer assistance. The fire department was aided by departments in Warwick, Barrington, Bristol, Brown, EMS, Pawtucket, Cranston, Coventry, Smithfield, East Greenwich, North Kingstown, Woonsocket, Professional Ambulance Company, Situate, and Cumberland. Providence Police and Brown Police were aided by East Providence, Cranston, Cumberland, the State Police, the FBI, and the ATF. Brown, Providence, and the FBI are currently in close coordination as they seek to find the shooter or shooters. The shooting took place at the Barris and Holly building, which is at Brown University Engineering and Physics building. The building contains both classrooms and lab space. We'll hear from the provost in a minute with some additional updates from Brown. There will be a family.
So far, at least
center that
10.
Brown will be setting up effective at 7 o'clock. Please stay tuned for updates on where that will be. We are encouraging anyone who was a witness to today's action to please contact the police as the investigation is ongoing and they may have critical information. At this time, I'd like to introduce the governor of the state of Rhode Island, who was quick to call and offer assistance and has been in touch with our law enforcement, had the state police respond quickly, and has been a great partner to the city of Providence on this sad day. Governor McKee.
Okay, Mayor. Yeah, so the unthinkable has happened, and I've been in touch, as the mayor said, to make sure that all the resources that we have, whether it's the EMA, our state police, Department of Health, which we've been in contact with as well, are responding in a way that is being helpful as possible. We've been in contact with the White House as well. Our office has been in contact with the White House. So we will bring all our resources to the table. I've been in touch with Governor Healy as well as other governors who have experienced the same tragedy. So our thoughts go out to those who have been impacted by this in any way, and we'll continue to provide the assistance to the authorities here in Providence, as well as statewide, and continue to make sure that we are doing everything we can to help the families that are, that are suffering right now.
Thank you, Governor. Now I'd like to introduce Chief Rodney Chapman from Brown PD.
My name is Rodney Chapman. I'm Vice President for Brown University, Vice President of Public Safety and Emergency Management, that serves as Chief of Police as well. As mentioned, we will mention this several times.
I'm just going to say it, Chad. I don't imagine there being many black people in Rhode Island. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it. I don't know. I might be wrong. Let's see. I just don't know. %. It's about 25,000 black people there. So it's not a lot of black people. It's a little more than I thought.
This is a very fluid situation and dynamically involving. Needless to say, my primary concern is the safety and security of this community, and we are encouraging, if anyone has information about the tragic events that unfolded this afternoon, to please contact us and provide that information. At this moment, I do want to say and share that my profound thanks and appreciation for all of the first responders who have come to assist us and all that are gathered right now and speaking to continue this investigation, to include all of the City of Providence resources, state resources, and the federal government in terms of the FBI and ATF.
Now, Commander Tim O'Hara from Providence Police.
Good evening, Tim O'Hara, Deputy Chief of Providence Police. So earlier this afternoon, when we received a call for an active shooter inside a building inside Brown University, our officers responded, and as they're trained to do, entered that building immediately and began searching for a suspect. They did a systematic search of the building. However, no suspect was located at that time. They were able to clear that building and provide a safe place for all of students and faculty and workers that were in that building to meet at. Preliminarily, all we have is a suspect that was a male dressed in black. It is unknown how he entered the building, but we do know that he exited the Hope Street side of that complex. We're utilizing every resource possible to find this suspect. The shelter in place is in order, and I urge people to take that very seriously. Please do not come to the area. There's an active police investigation going on, and there's a lot of police activity. We've got assistance so far from some surrounding communities, the state police, the Cranston Police, East Providence Police, as well as our federal partners and the FBI and the ATF. We're talking to witnesses at this time and delving into any video that's in the area, and the investigation is very active and ongoing. We'll be updating you, I'm sure, throughout the night, but as I said, right now there is no suspect that is under arrest, so please stay out of the area. Thank you.
We'll take questions at the end. We'll take questions at the end. We have a few more speakers, please. Next, Fire Chief Derek Silva.
Derek Silva, Fire Chief of the City of Providence. As mentioned previously, at 4:05 p.m. we were dispatched to the area of Waterman and Thayer for an active shooter incident where our firefighters, known as a rescue task force, linked up with Providence Police with 2 operational locations at Waterman and Thayer and Waterman and Hope. Rescue Task Force is a firefighter that wears body armor and has ability to stop any shooting wounds and make sure that any victims are extricated quickly. With the assistance of police in neighboring cities and towns, 8 people were transported, as the mayor mentioned, critical but stable condition, and 2, unfortunately, were dead on arrival. We have a total of 10 victims, but as I caution everyone, this is a developing incident, and we are still actively searching the buildings along with Providence Police to make sure that everyone has gone home safe and that there is no one else that needs our assistance. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. And then last, we'll hear from the Provost of Brown University, Frank Doyle.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Frank Doyle, Provost of Brown University. I want to reiterate, this is an evolving situation, as you've heard multiple times. Our first priority is the safety of our academic community, the campus community, and coordinating closely with law enforcement and medical services.
So you saying there are 55,386 black people out of 1.1 million total. And that, I just looked and they said 25,000 of those said black people live in Providence. So half of Rhode Island's entire black population is in one city.
In the meantime, we continue to direct our community to shelter in place in the greater vicinity of the campus. We are working immediately to determine who was in the building at the time of the shooting and any impacts from the shooting. We do know that there were final exams taking place in the building between 2 and 5 p.m. We can confirm that support services are on site. We have been and continue to be very grateful to law enforcement and emergency medical personnel. We have relocated students to get support services at a secure location and will be providing more details. We continue to remain extremely grateful to local law enforcement for their ongoing support. We're committed to keeping our community informed, supporting our students and families, as well as the affected faculty and staff.
So before we take questions, I just want to implore the greater Providence community. We are a week and a half away from Christmas, and 2 people died today and another 8 are in the hospital. So please pray for those families. Understand that this is not something our community has gone through together, but I also know this community, and I know that its best moments are when we come together to support one another. It's going to be a difficult rest of the day, difficult weeks and months ahead as this community heals. And each and every one of us can play a small role in that, in supporting one's neighbor and offering that support and their prayers for everyone involved. At this point, we'll be happy to take questions
Mayor,
as we know them.
what can you tell us about the victims, including whether they were all Brown University students?
We cannot disclose any details about the victims at this time, whether they were students or not, or any other details. We will make those details available when they become available. We expect to be providing regular updates throughout the evening and in the days to come, and this is too early to be able to provide those details.
Was there any evidence warning that something like this might be happening?
The first we learned about today was the 911 call that came in, but we had no other, I don't think, we had no other notice or threat indicators or anything like that. Please, Kate.
Mayor, do you know exactly when Brown University did put out that someone was in custody? How long was that misinformation out for, and how was that determination made and then retracted?
There was an individual who was preliminarily thought to be involved and was later determined to have no involvement, and that's why we can confirm that at this time there is nobody in custody. The length of that investigation or interrogation of that individual, I don't know.
There's a weapon.
Commander?
No weapons have been. No weapons have been.
Do you know what weapon was used?
Y'all know this man came in here in all black. Y'all know this man exited through the damn Hope Street, whatever. Y'all know that he shot about 10 people. Y'all know that 2 of those people didn't make it. But y'all don't know what the fuck he was shooting. Or you offer no explanation as to why you don't know what the fuck he was shooting. Did he have a shell catcher? Did he have a damn fucking sack? Did he have a sack over it? Why the fuck you don't know what he's shooting? Now, I'm not the brightest in the bunch, chat, but I don't think that I want to hear anybody from my police department talking about they don't know what the fuck he was shooting. Y'all need some better investigative skill. It might be time to hire somebody who does know what the fuck he was shooting. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like it's time to hire somebody who can find out what the fuck he was shooting.
I'm unaware of how the security of that building works.
Most of our buildings, after hours, are card swipe. But since there was a final exam, there was probably a lot of traffic.
And where did it happen in the building? Did this take place inside where the exam was going on?
We're still verifying everything. So
Blake, you don't tell me what to do, what to focus on. I'm going to focus on what the fuck I want to focus on, Blake. And right now, I don't want to hear that shit. I want to know what the hell he was shooting, man. We already done let him go. Any other time, it would be a patsy. We lucky that they arrested whoever the fuck it was and said, oh, they didn't have nothing to do with it. That normally would have been a patsy. Or was that somebody that they just cut loose and let go on hell, do what the hell they want to do? How is 10 people shot and they have not a clue? They don't know what color this guy was. They don't know shit, but that he had on all black. 10 people shot, dude. We need to know something.
look at everything right.
This is damn condition. It's condition.
It's all part of the crime scene.
Well, was the victims found like in a hallway or were they in a classroom?
So we're unable to share that at this time.
Commander, can you say if there have been any confirmed shots fired since the 405 shots?
There was a call that came over for shots fired in the area of Governor Street, but that was unconfirmed and unfounded.
So as far as we know, the gunman has not been seen since around the 4 o'clock hour.
That's correct. The last time that we know that he's been seen was when somebody saw him leaving the building on the Hope Street side of the building.
Is he around college age or any?
I don't have any more information about his description.
Commander, could you repeat how the individual exited the building?
He exited the doors at the Hope Street side of the building.
Do police have any video footage of the suspect at this point?
We're working on that right now. We're working along with FBI on tracking down video from that area.
What resources are being used other than video at this point to try to locate the suspect?
Forensic evidence, we're using witness evidence, and we're looking for video mostly right now because we'd like to get an image out as quickly as we can of the suspect.
Now, it has been about close to 3 hours now. You in contact with other law enforcement that we're talking about a large perimeter at this juncture. Who else is involved in this now?
As I said earlier, state police are involved, ATF, the FBI, Providence Police Detectives, and all the other squads that we have available to us, the Patrol Bureau, and then our specialty intelligence units, and our real-time crime center will be involved as well.
Any multi-state alerts?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Has everyone vacated that building at this point?
No, not everybody. There's still a police presence in that building. That's the crime scene. We're going to be in that building for quite some time.
But the students or faculty, bystanders?
Yes, everybody that was in that building at the time has been moved.
Commander, so it's 2 6.
Oh, I'm calling it now. They're being very, very vague. We're not going to hear from this guy right here ever again. We're not going to hear from any of these people ever again. It's looking like they learned from the Utah Valley University situation. They don't need to talk as much. They're going to let Cash Patel get his ass up there. And he's going to tell us where this shit is going to go. You know what I'm saying? We'll be hearing the rest of this case from Cash Patel. I say maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks. They don't make an arrest tonight, Chad. It's going to be about 2 weeks. Maybe about 2 weeks, and they'll go pick somebody up for this. No arrests are going to be made tonight. No arrests are going to be made this weekend. This is going to be panic. He got away. It is what it is, man. And in a couple weeks, they'll just go pick up some Joe Schmo that they've crafted this shit around, man. We won't ever hear from this guy again, man. Let's just be real.
They're in stable condition at the hospital, Rhode Island Hospital right now.
Are they able to provide any details? Or?
That's what we're working on right now, John.
In terms of when that suspect was last seen leaving the building on Oak Street, is that an eyewitness account? Did police see him leave? Was there any interaction with police with that suspect?
No interaction with that suspect with police. That was from eyewitness account.
Chief Deputy from Shelton, I just wanted to know if there's any kind of description you can provide to anybody here right now. I know it's kind of hard, but we don't know what we're looking for, so there's a lot of people on edge. Is there anything that you can give us?
All I can give you is a male, all dressed in black at this time. We're hoping to get something very soon. An image would be the best thing for us to get out there to you guys and everybody else. So
Suspect doesn't have a mask on.
That I can't confirm.
How the fuck you know it was a man then? How you know it was a man? You don't know what color he was. You don't know what race he was. Did he go to the boys' bathroom? Did you see him stand up to piss? How do you know this is a man?
Do you have an image of him?
I do not have an image of him.
He left on foot or did he get into a vehicle?
He left on foot.
And did he go down Oak Street?
He exited the building on Oak Street. Where he went from there, we're unsure.
How do you find a suspect in a city campus? Makes it very, very challenging.
We have all available resources, and as the governor mentioned, he's in touch with governors in other areas as well. This will be an ongoing investigation. Obviously, FBI, ATF, Providence Police, Brown Police are all actively investigating this as we speak, and we will provide updates as they become available. We expect to provide regular updates throughout the evening and in the days to come. We will share information as we have it with all of you. We knew that this update was preliminary, but we also know that there's a lot of fear and anxiety and concern in our community, and so it was important to get out the details that we do have at this time.
Yes, the shooter is still at large. Shooter walks in on campus dressed in all black, shoots 10 people minimum, at least 10 people, kills 2 of them, walks out of the back door, and disappears like a thief in the damn night. They don't know what he was shooting. They don't know what they got shot with. They don't know what race this person was. Don't know how old they were. But they know it was a fucking man. That's all we know. A man dressed in all black. Get the fuck out of here.
At this point, you know all the information that can be shared, and we will keep the community and members of the press corps.
Right. Just say you don't want to tell us. Say it's part of an ongoing investigation. Don't be like we don't know. We know what that mean. That mean you finna pass the buck off so Cash Patel could come tell us whatever the hell he want to tell us, man. Just tell us we don't need to know that shit right now. Ongoing investigation. We've heard this run-of-the-mill shit so long. Ongoing investigation. But you know what? Why they don't say all this ongoing investigation shit so as much anymore is because they focused on transparency. It was so much transparency. Transparency this, transparency that, transparency my ass. Now that we asked for some damn transparency, it's we don't know. Now it's lies. We didn't ask for lies either. Cause the shit's not making sense, man. You know it's a man dressed in all black, but that's all you know. You don't know what he was shooting. You don't know where the fuck he's at. Oh my God.
Or updated as we go throughout the evening.
Has there ever been a shooting
the chief is on his way here and will be at our later press availabilities.
What kind of presence who are living, obviously, in this area that are concerned, you're instructing to shelter in place, if they see something that they feel is suspicious, what is the best way for them to reach out? Can they send pictures? Can they reach out? Obviously, you call police.
They should call the police. That is the best way.
For what? Let me stop. I might take it too far, let me stop, bro.
Social media or other forms of communication are not the appropriate venues. Call 911 if you believe you have information that may help us with this investigation. Particularly if you were a student on campus or an adult on campus that was near the area that you think you have something to contribute, please call the police to help us with our investigation.
Mayor's right, talking about shutting businesses down, like on their street ring like that. I know they did that at Indianapolis.
At this point, we're not mandating that businesses shut, but we are asking everyone to shelter in place, and so we would hope that everyone would stay indoors until they hear otherwise from official City of Providence channels.
Yes, this is the play. This is gonna be the one that gets away, man, and this is gonna open up that Larry Ellison and all of this Palantir and shit, man. This is gonna open up that Bill Gates sending those 65,000 satellites into space to cover every square foot of Earth 24/7. This is why they're gonna justify this shit, because of piss poor. I'm not even gonna say police work. I'm gonna say situation, because of piss poor situations like this, man. That's why the hell they won't. This is it, man. This is the beginning of the fucking end. People walk on campus, shoot up 10 people, man. They don't know what the fuck's going on, man. They just know it's a dude. I would have much rather just heard them say it's part of an ongoing investigation. We'll hear from it later. What?
Day and age, we know there will be misinformation available online, and so please, when it comes to official updates with regard to the shelter in place and other updates, go to the City of Providence's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any of our social media channels, and it's clearly marked as the official City of Providence page, so that you know you're getting the accurate and official updates. The shelter in place is defined as the broader Brown community, Brown neighborhood. Everyone knows if they live near Brown, and certainly if you're on campus. Because we don't have additional information to share at this time about the location of a shooter, we cannot more specifically define it than that. This is a scary time, I know. As many folks know, I live proximate to the campus, and I'm hearing from friends and neighbors. We're encouraging people to stay inside until there are additional updates. Sure.
Something had to go on, Chad. Something had to go on, because I don't know many school shooters that just plan on leaving that. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many school shooters have we seen go in there, shoot some shit up, and try to escape? Like, most of the time it's like either death by cop or they're taking their own life, man, or their ass getting caught. Who the fuck gets away with some shit like this? Who slips into a school, shoots 10 people, kills 2 of them, slips out of the school, and goes on about fucking life? We know a lot of shit, all kind of shit that goes on globally, all kind of shit happening in international waters, but we don't know who the fuck just shot up 10 people and waltzed out of there, dude.
What is the policy at Brown University regarding firearms? Could a student legally have a firearm in the dorm?
No.
See, this is a different situation. Like, no manifesto, left, got away and shit. Like, this is different. They're gonna evaluate whoever this shooter is psychologically a little bit different, 'cause he didn't crash, he didn't kill himself, He didn't shoot it out with the car. He made a damn escape. That's what the fuck he did. He didn't park his damn Benz on the curve on Fifth Ave and run up in the no. He went in there, shot up 10 people, and damn escaped. This shit is like a mission. It's crazy. It sounds like a damn mission.
Mayor, just asking,
Yes.
so Chief Hernandez, how is he?
I don't know. He's in transit, and he's expected to be here within an hour or two, and so he will be with us at future updates this evening. Hold on, Pat. We're going to take Nisha's question first, and Chief, this might be for you, please. What was that?
What time did police arrive after the first 911 call?
The exact time I don't know, but it's Barris and Holly, 184 Pope Street, and it's a very short drive from us, so I would say minutes within that.
When were they contacted?
Whenever we were called, we responded immediately and immediately entered that building looking for the shooter.
We'll provide a timeline later in the evening.
How often do the various law enforcement agencies prepare for situations like this? Do they do active shooter simulations, trainings, establishing perimeters? Talk a little bit about that training that goes into this multi-agency response.
Certainly,
go ahead.
Well, certainly welcome you two as well. We just did a few months ago a joint training, Brown PD and Providence PD and Providence Fire and Rescue Task Force. It's something we certainly plan for, practice for, rehearse, but never want to see it come to fruition like it did today. But it is something that we definitely prepare for multiple times throughout the year, and as mentioned, we just had a joint training several months ago.
Colonel? Kate, I would just add, I'm sorry, John, 1 second. I would just add, Kate, that the City of Providence conducted an active shooter drill, a live drill at a closed school about 18 months ago with not just police, but fire, EMS, emergency management, and the other various departments and city government that are responding. This is a sad state of our country right now where you have to plan for these things. And hopefully...
So I was saying, why on a Saturday, Lori, something had to happen. It's finals and shit. That's what I'm saying. This is a different situation. Something had to happen. Something had to happen.
It takes some comfort to know that their Providence leadership has planned for this occurrence, including very recently.
Colonel, you said that there was final exams going on at the building. Where's the campus? Are there still most students on campus? Have some already taken their exams and gone home?
It's a little bit of both. Some students have gone home, but there, as the provost said, there's still some activity going on. Provost.
We're still
What's up, Fred?
some students who didn't have exams have left, but they're still
Final exam for what class?
we're not prepared to release that information right now. There were multiple exams in the building.
Pat,
Were you there?
hold on, Pat.
Representative addresses to the Colonel. Does the Brown University receive threats and chatter at any time? In what manner does Brown University police monitor that, or is that for no problems?
There's a strong partnership and collaboration between Brown University and Providence PD. Any information like that we will share, and we also share it with the Fusion Center as well. As mentioned, we have no verified information, warning, or anything related to today's events.
Dan, hold on a second, John. Dan?
Mayor, you live right next to the building, right, where you close at the time?
I was home at the time.
So, did anyone come to you, you shelter in place, and you still like, what happened when you found out?
Yeah, I was at home watching the PC game and saw lights and sirens go by my house. And at which time Commander O'Hara called me with a very preliminary update, and then have been in touch. And obviously, as you point out, about a block away, very proximate through the rest of the evening. I'm sorry, John and Dan.
If someone right now feels they may have video that shows someone running by their house, someone acting suspicious, who do you want them to contact?
I want them to contact the police department. Call us up. We'll send a detective out there right away and see what kind of evidence they may have for us.
Should people check ring cameras, businesses?
Yes,
Someone
they
may
should.
have video.
They have the ring camera in the area of the shooting. They should be reviewing that right now and see if there's anything that looks suspicious. We'll follow up.
Follow up on that question. With that area and all the cameras in that area, you have to have something.
I don't have anything
nothing yet, Dan.
Are you looking for it though?
Absolutely.
Okay, and the conditions of the victims, a source at the hospital says that there could be more casualties. Can you just gently tell us what we know what to do?
We can't speak any further about the condition. They are in critical but stable condition, and we will provide additional updates as they become available. As we have mentioned multiple times, and I will mention again because it's very important that we be honest and transparent with all of you and with parents and loved ones who are concerned about they've got students who are away at school or they have someone who works at Brown. We're not done yet, and so while we have no other victims at this time that we're aware of, it is possible. And so it's very important that we say that this is preliminary information, that we know that there is a minimum of 8 victims in the hospital at this time, but it is all subject to change, and when those changes or if those changes occur, we will be sure to share them with you.
Commander, one more question. Are you confident it's just one individual you're looking for?
That's the information we have now.
And do you want to give the phone number for these calls?
272-1111 or 272-3121.
As I mentioned, we expect to be providing additional updates throughout the evening. If you're not on our press list, please see Josh. Raise your hand. Please see Josh to make sure you get on the press list. That's where we will notify folks about additional availabilities throughout the evening. As we have more information, we will share it. Thank you very much.
Will there be more press conferences there here?
We expect there will be, yes.
And you have been watching a live news conference with Providence officials about a mass casualty situation at Brown University. We have now confirmed 2 people are dead, 8 in critical condition at local hospitals.
And pretty concerningly, that suspect still at large somewhere in the city of Providence. During the news conference, they said that he exited on Hope Street. Right now, unclear where the suspect is. Right now, we're only hearing that it is a male dressed in black who fled on foot. So this is concerning not only for students who are still on campus now, but for the greater Providence community and Rhode Island at large.
Shelter in place continues.
Absolutely. We're about 90 minutes into our live coverage, and we're going to get started now with NBC 10 News at 7. NBC 10 News.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy, chat. Alright, man. Let me change the title, then we finna move on in the episode, man. That's crazy. Let me change the title right quick. Alright. Yeah, let's change this title right quick, man. Alright, damn, chat. Alright, man. Alright, chat, man. We finna get in this Brandon Johnson, man. Alright, I changed the title. Let me pull up the clip, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out, man. We finna move on in the episode. We're gonna talk about this Brandon Johnson. Y'all see what was going on. They said an investigation finds over a dozen elected official aides in Chicago are making $200,000 plus a year. The city of Chicago salary database, and something that seemed unbelievable. One assistant to an alderman making more than $268,000 a year. They saying these people are making more than Brandon Johnson. They saying Chicago's operating at a deficit. Brandon Johnson's proposed a new budget, and I'm not gonna lie, I went over his budget plan. His budget proposal is not terrible. I really tried to poke holes into it. I just didn't try to just poke all the holes into it, but I looked over it with a fair amount of scrutiny. And it's not terrible. It's not terrible. But when you are already running at a deficit, and then you got aldermen and assistants and shit making $270,000 a year, and you already trying to up the budget to $16 billion. Trump's not really trying to send you no money, man. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. They talking about they were operating at a deficit, but they had enough extra funds to give everybody these crazy damn bonuses, so they didn't just waste the money. Sounds to me like that money should have went to where the hell it was supposed to be going. And it's like Brandon Johnson's new budget proposal that we're about to go over. Like I said, it's not terrible, but it's like, it's kind of boneless and baseless. You know what I'm saying?
Does the city's salary database show at least a dozen aldermanic aides making close to $200,000. CBS News Chicago investigator Megan DeMar taking a closer look at those numbers. She's here with me now, and you discovered not only that the database itself is wrong, but staffers are getting some pretty hefty bonuses.
Right, Marie. So while aldermanic staffers can't technically get bonuses or overtime pay, they can get what some are calling temporary salary adjustments, which opens up a whole debate about whether city workers should get end-of-the-year hikes and how those should be rewarded. CBS News Chicago is listening to you, and this investigation started with an email from a viewer pointing us to the City of Chicago's salary database and something that seemed unbelievable. One assistant to an alderman making more than $268,000 a year, another making more than $238K a year, a staff assistant making more than $237,000 a year. We found at least a dozen staffers.
And Brandon Johnson only making $221, man. This shit is crazy. It's not looking good, Brandon. It's not looking good, man. They getting these kickbacks and bonuses and continual feedback loops or whatever the hell y'all want to call them, man. And you making $221K a year. They already mad about that. Now you got assistant to alderman. We don't even know these folks' names. And they getting damn near $300,000 a year, and you talking about you want $16 billion? You're already at a deficit of like 100-something million plus, damn near 200 million. Crazy.
With these generous salaries, making even more than
We finna go over his budget in a minute. After this clip, I'm gonna break down the budget proposal Brandon Johnson had.
their bosses. The top-paid alderman makes $152,000 a year. And yes, taking home even more than the mayor of Chicago, who earns $221,000 a year. Unbelievable was right. The city told us the yearly salary data on their website.
Chill out, Lala.
For example, 32nd Ward Alderman Scott Wagusback provided a pay stub for an employee whose reported salary was $237,000 a year, but whose actual...
Chill out, Lala. They got a damn fish fry going on, man. I'm trying to go get me one of them fish plates. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be over the way others with you, Lala. I'm trying to go get me one of them damn fish plates, man.
To-date earnings total only $97,000. In a statement, the Office of Budget and Management explained that the numbers are incorrectly inflated due to temporary pay increases applied towards the end of the budget year, or what most people would call end-of-the-year bonuses.
That is, of course, a transparency problem. We have a city data portal that shows taxpayer-funded salaries. It ought to be accurate. We ought to be showing the real amount.
But Inspector General Deborah Witzberg,
I can also imagine fixes to this data problem involving the Department of Finance, they're the people who cut the paychecks.
says it also exposes a broader issue. Bonuses are typically a private sector tool, and there aren't guidelines governing how surplus salary funds, if there are any, are distributed.
To protect against unfairness and inconsistency, to protect against a situation where taxpayer dollars are being used to reward political loyalty or whatever the case may be. All of the things which we would be vulnerable to either in reality or in appearance without really clear policy and guidelines.
29th Ward Alderman Chris Taliaferro, for example, told us the extra funds can be due to things like resignations, terminations, or leaves of absence. So he reallocates unspent portions of the $309,000 a year budgeted for his staff assistants accordingly. City council members who we reached out to about the temporary salary bumps defended the practice, saying it prevents turnover and rewards hardworking staffers. Nevertheless, critics like Witzberg contend that Chicago's projected $1.15 billion budget deficit for the fiscal year 2026 should perhaps motivate aldermen to return any unspent funds.
It certainly seems, at least in other places in the budget, like the city is able to repurpose unspent salary dollars. It might be particularly important to do that in this environment.
Witzberg told us her office has no plans to investigate this particular issue, and we did not name any specific employees.
No plans to investigate
They
it.
didn't do anything wrong, but it is certainly a
They just
talker.
took their $130,000 bonus. Yeah, they just took their $130,000 bonus. Let's break it down. 2026 budget proposal from Mayor Brandon Johnson. He says he presented October 2025. He's calling it Protecting Chicago Budget. The total budget is $16.6 billion across all funds. Corporate fund focus, $5.26 billion revenues, $6.4 billion expenditures. Aims to close a $1.2 billion corporate fund shortfall without property tax hikes or broad fee increases. Emphasizes equity and progressive revenues targeting corporations while protecting low-income residents. Alright. No layoffs or cuts to direct services like libraries, parks, and senior programs. As of December 13th, this has stalled in the City Council. Finance Committee rejected the revenue plan 25-10 in November. Johnson threats to veto on alternatives with property taxes or garbage fee hikes. The revenue strategies, they're targeting $500 million in new funds, corporate tax head tax revival. This is crazy. They want to do a $21 monthly surcharge per employee on the businesses with 50 plus workers. So that's expected to bring them $100 to $150 million annually. Example: a 1,000 employee company has to pay the city $252,000 a year to fund mental health and violence prevention. So $21 a month per employee for any business that has over 50 workers for mental health and violence prevention. Cloud tax expansion increases rate on streaming and digital services from 9% to 11%. It adds $50 million. They like Netflix or Spotify subscriptions will be taxed higher, similar to cable TV. So they're gonna tax your Netflix and Spotify like it's cable TV. Ride share surcharges doubles congestion fees to $3 a trip in downtown. If a Uber or Lyft rider would pay extra during peak hours to ease traffic, the city's gonna get that money. Peak travel pay. Amusement tax extension prolongs the 9% tax on events and tickets. Concert, sports, and games at the United Center contribute more. Now they're doing a first in the nation 1% levy on ad revenue from platforms like Meta, TikTok, $20 million. Funds mental health programs and targets big tech profits. So yeah, they're gonna want 1% on all ad revenue from platforms. TIF surplus declaration record $1 billion from tax increment financing districts. Cities share $232 million for general use. Redevelopment funds from area like Lincoln Yards would be redirected to citywide needs. $175 million expected from state for CPS pensions, minor boost from parking meters and liquor licenses. Spending cuts and efficiencies, they're trying to target $200 to $400 million in savings. They're going to do a immediate hiring freeze, limit non-essential vacancies and admin role. That'll save them $100 million. Delaying filling desk jobs while prioritizing frontline like firefighters. saying cutting out all those desk jobs. Kind of like Mamdani just hired 400 people for his transition team. Chicago's looking like Brandon Johnson's trying to do the exact opposite. Example, we're gonna go office consolidations, merge underused city buildings, and that'll save them $50 million. Centralize departments to cut utilities and maintenance. So if you got one person in this office, that office, they'll probably put the electric and the water together in the same building, so they don't have to pay 2 light bills, 2 rents, 2 whatever. So that's what they're talking about doing. That'll save them $50 million. Vendor reductions, renegotiating contracts in low value and $75 million. Switch to cheaper suppliers for office supplies, IT services. So they're saying like if it's cheaper to get IT services, then we're gonna switch. That's gonna save them $75 million. I expect them to probably be using AI. Probably be using an AI for a lot of this shit. Just getting a monthly subscription, however much, 100, 200 a month, and say fuck paying thousands and thousands. Police overtime caps. Chicago police, this is a big one. Limits non-emergency overtime to 10% of the budget. That'll save them $50 million. So all of that extra overtime is gonna be out of the window. Scheduled shifts for routine patrols, not ad hoc calls. I don't know what that means. Scheduled shifts for routine patrols, not ad hoc calls. Okay. Maintains funding for 77 community service centers, violence interrupters, and O'Hare expansions, so they're not cutting any services. They're going to borrow some money as well, refinancing some debt. The key investments and priorities are public safety, $75 million for community mental health clinics. They want 10 new sites. West Side expansion with 24/7 crisis teams, reducing 911 calls by 20%. So same thing that Mamdani's talking about. Not having a police show up to mental health calls and having somebody else show up. Crazy. It's crazy. Climate resilience, $100 million for flood barriers and green infrastructure. Guess they're going with the Green New Deal. West Englewood stormwater projects to prevent $50 million in annual flood damage. Chicago has $50 million in annual flood damage. I'm just gonna keep it real. That don't even sound right. Education and housing, $200 million via TIF for affordable units. School repairs, 500 new units in the South Side tied to CPS facility upgrades. Equity focus, 40% of new revenues to Black and Latino majority wards, challenges, and criticisms. The council is opposing it right now, 29 to 21. Majority blocks head tax. Alternative proposed $300 million from fees. They're talking about putting extra $10 a month on your garbage bill. Alright, chat. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. What's up, Asha? I'm finna open up the phone lines for a minute, man. That's what I'm finna do. Matter of fact, y'all wanna do a panel? We could do a panel for a little while. We could do a panel for a little while. Texas, Dorsey, the Venezuela oil should go to Chicago. Why should the Venezuelan oil go to Chicago? The Venezuelan oil need to go to our strategic oil reserves for wartime. We need to have our strategic oil reserves filled to the max. Keep them bad boys filled. Oh yeah, chat. I had got me a fresh toast plate earlier. You said we need to apply. Yeah, that does suck for the overtime, man. That does suck for the overtime. Overtime is only 10% of the budget. So now you know they're gonna be real selective on who get that overtime over there. They're gonna get to being real selective on who get that overtime. These some fried potatoes, chat. I ain't gonna lie, this some fried potatoes. Yeah, it's from earlier. I got a French toast plate with the fried potatoes and the sausage. So, not gonna lie, chat. I'm excited for midterms next year. Like, I'm ready to see Jasmine Crockett go against James Talcaro in that in that Senate race for Texas. I'm ready to see Cornyn and Ken Paxton. I don't know if let me see if Arkansas got a governor race coming up. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. We know that Trump already gave damn, is that syrup I spilled on my shit? I think that is, man. I spilled some syrup on my damn pants, chat. Damn. Damn. I definitely did. Yeah, they say Frederick Love Supper, Zaprit Mays, and Gary Husky. Man, who the hell is these people? Oh man, I think I might know who Frederick Love is. He's a Democratic member of the Arkansas Senate. So you're a state senator. Who is this Sufa Zay person? How the hell I spell her name? Alright, let's see this other candidate. Zay Smith Mays. A businesswoman, a civic leader. Oh, she from Bentonville. Worked at Walmart corporate. Oh no. Sufa Zay Smith Mays. And who was the other one? Gary Husky. Let's see Gary Husky. Gary Husky. I'm running for governor of Arkansas in 2026, and I need your support. Broadcasting radio in Fort Smith Hot Springs. Yeah, it looked like Frederick's gonna come out of that Democratic primary. Looking like it's probably gonna be Frederick's to come out of the Democratic primary in Arkansas, Chad. I'm not gonna hold you. I am not gonna hold you. It's looking like it's gonna be Frederick's. Jason, they was stealing the damn money. Well, not stealing the money, but they was giving out bonuses, man. They got damn assistants making more money than the damn the mayor. What's up, Big Niche? This shit crazy. It's looking like Sarah Huckabee might win again, man. And Fredericks, man, listen. I tell you. If Fredericks, let me see what he doing over here on damn. What's his name? Fredericks Love. Man, what the hell was his name, Chad? Yeah, Frederick Love. Hell, I don't even see this, man. There you go, Fred Love. Okay, Fred Love. They call him Fred Love. 6-term state representative. Oh, that's an old page.
You deserve better. As Democrats, we will demand better. State government does not belong to any one party. It belongs to the people. Arkansas's motto is regular populace. The people rule. This is a motto we as Democrats live by. You deserve to know how your taxpayer dollars will be spent and trust that they won't be wasted. You deserve legislation that isn't rushed through, unlike what we saw with the LEARNS Act in the last session, which was passed into law days after being introduced. Now, I'm going to ask you something. Where's the legislation that
Listen, chat. Thank you, Lala. Yeah, they do need term limits. But this is what I'm going to say, man. I'm looking at Fred Love's Twitter page, bro. And he's following 72 people. And got 12 followers, man. Fred Love. Golly, man. Oh, man. This is what Fred Love is trying to do, man. This is what he's trying to do as governor. Economic development, building regional economic hubs, rebuilding water, sewer, broadband, and road infrastructure, expanding entrepreneurship, apprenticeships, and small business support, providing summer youth employment tied to career readiness certificates, establishing an affordable housing task force. Oh God, this is so crazy. Healthcare, protect Medicaid, expand mental health services statewide, especially in rural communities. Grow telehealth services to deliver real-time care across the state. Ensure healthcare dollars to improve outcomes, not bureaucracy. Launch a statewide mental health app and hotline. Education. Invest in reading specialists and reinforce literacy programs so every child reads on a grade level. Guarantee every district has adequate literacy support. Expand mental health services, teletherapy services, especially in rural areas. Reject voucher schemes that siphon resources from the classrooms. I don't know what he means by that. Support teachers with fair pay, resources, and respect. Expand adult literacy programs to open doors for working families. This is bad, chat. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm finna show y'all, chat. This is bad. This shit is probably gonna be like a cakewalk for Sarah, man. He did a town hall. I wonder was that town hall streamed live? This is what his platform is, what he's running on. This is bad, bro. Alright, let's check out his other ones. Let's check out his other places. Let's check out his Instagram. I don't know, Chad. This shit is bad, though. Oh, man. Democrats, man, listen. Y'all know I'm a centrist, man, but this shit looks crazy. It's looking like Sarah's gonna run away with this shit. Unless he's gotta clean his social media up, man. He's gotta do some damn sit downs. He needs to go talk to some people, man. Sarah already got the Trump endorsement. It is what it is. Sarah got the Trump endorsement. It's an uphill battle, Democrats in Arkansas. Y'all got an uphill battle. Democrats in Arkansas got an uphill battle, man. Shit. What is this other lady's name? Let me check out this shit. Shit, this shit is crazy. I want to offer some, consulting, man. Damn. Okay, he got 335 followers on Instagram. Fred's campaign tour is about reaching as many Arkansans as possible to share his priorities and goals for the state. To reach a broader audience, he needs support. He understands the struggle in today's economy, so if you want to help but can't donate, please consider sharing this post. Donate today. Damn, he just had he had a town hall last week in Hot Springs. He had a town hall in El Dorado. Let me see if I can find it on YouTube. Let me see if I can find his damn town hall, if they recorded it.
Welcome to Capitol View. I'm your host, Roby Brock. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, this past week, there was a new entrant in the race for Arkansas governor in 2026. State Senator Fred Love, Democrat of Little Rock, threw his hat in the ring, and he joins us for a conversation. Senator Love, thank you for being here.
Roby, thank you for having me.
Welcome to the statewide big brawl there. It's going to be a big one, high-profile race next year. For people who do not know you outside of your legislative district, tell everybody a little bit of your background, kind of where you grew up, where you got your education, your family, your work, all that kind of thing.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for having me. Frederick Love, as you know, state senator, been in the House for, I served in the House for 11 years, served in the Senate for 3, so I'm in my 15th year. So I've been around. From Little Rock, born and raised. Went to Joe T. Robinson, graduated from ULR with a degree in political science, master's in public administration. I've been in public service for, I guess, the last 20 years now.
Master's in public administration. Okay. Master's in public administration.
All right. Well, tell me why you're running. How long you've been giving this some thought, and what made you get into the race this year?
Well, Roby, I've been giving this a lot of thought, but a lot of prayer also. And I'm hearing people, they're being shut out. They're not being heard. They're not being listened to. And so I want to give the people a voice. And so I've been doing that for the last 15 years, and so that's what I want to do now. I want to give voice to Arkansas, because Arkansas deserves better.
I want to talk about what you want to do as governor, but first I want you to tell me what you think Governor Sarah Sanders is not doing, why you would be a better alternative to what she's been offering the state of Arkansas.
Well, I really don't want to focus on Governor Huckabee Sanders, but a couple of things I would say is that I don't think we've moved the needle on education like we should have. I know that there was a few good plans in Arkansas Learns, but it has turned out to be something that hasn't moved the needle. I mean, the only thing that is going up in education is the amount of money that we're spending in vouchers. And so I don't think that we've moved the needle, and I think we can do better with public education.
Don't you think it will take some time for things like reading and math, those scores to improve based on some of the investments that are being made? I mean, that's not an overnight solution.
Well, I think the investments need to be made in different places. For instance, if you want reading scores to go up, there are school districts that are telling me that they don't have reading specialists, or they don't have enough reading specialists. So you have to first put the infrastructure if you want to see the results. And I don't think that we've invested in infrastructure well enough to make the gains that we need.
In the last legislative session, you were a staunch opponent of the Franklin County prison plan. Tell me what's for your opposition to, is it that particular site? Is it just building a new prison in general? What's your position on it?
Well, I think it's some involved. Number one, I mean, spending $1 billion. This is $1 billion in a time where people are facing economic crunches. I think that's not a wise investment. Now, I do think that we're going to need more prison beds, and here's why I say that. It's because, as of right now, we have anywhere between 1,800 and 2,000 state prisoners in our county jails. So that affects locally we police. And so I think we're going to have to make some changes there. We do need additional bed space, because we have to get those state prisoners out of our county jails.
and I think our sheriffs will agree with me on that. However, I don't think building a 3,000 bedroom facility out in the middle of Franklin County where there's no infrastructure there, there's no workforce there, I don't think that's the answer.
Senator Brian King advocated kind of a plan to add on to some existing jail space, maybe.
Yeah, I would say I got a good education in Arkansas. I kind of took it for granted. I was always ahead, ahead of grade level, so I guess I took advantage of it. It was what it was.
You even find ways to entice counties to expand their prison space, 4 state prison beds. Was that a plan you supported, or do you think that's the right direction?
Yeah, I'm not going to say that's the plan that I supported. What I am going to say is that we need to explore other options than the Franklin County prison. But I know that we do need to expand some of the facilities that we probably currently have and save some of that money for other investments that we need to do.
No, I ain't got no damn dog.
You talked about an economic plan in your announcement for governor. You called it a real economic opportunity in every corner of the state. It touts regional economic development hubs, access to more startup capital and infrastructure, partnering with some of the colleges and universities around the state, investing in broadband and some other things. We're doing a lot of that right now, aren't we?
Well, I don't know if we're doing a lot of that. And I'll give you one example. So if you go to, and this is a conversation that I was having at the Economic Development Summit that they had maybe a couple of weeks ago. And I asked them about actually building new economic development sites. Well, they're not doing that right now. Now, we are investing in the economic development sites that we have. So I'll give you an example, like the Little Rock Port Authority. We are doing investments in